What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the channel, I am your host, Rashid, and my boy on the other side of the panel there is Beric.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on?
All right, everybody's looking at the title here. Dr. J says the Brooklyn Nets are trying to buy a champion, well, buy a title or a championship, And Beric, take us off, man.
Yeah, Dr. J, let me tell you something, man. I am so happy to have been able to see this man play ball for I don't say half his career. I didn't see the ABA days, but at least half his career. I definitely seen the Sixers days. And speaking of the Sixers, they won that championship in 1983, right?
Yeah.
The Sixers had to put together a team. They didn't have, before the 83 season, they didn't have a team that they felt was good enough to go and win the title, especially when they beat the Lakers. But they went out and got Moses Malone. At the time, Moses Malone was a big threat in the paint. He was one of the best front court players ever at that time. You had to put that together along with Mo Cheeks, Billy Cunningham, and Andrew Toney. Now, Dr. J, don't you think that was a super team back then? Because I would say you kind of brought a championship back then, wouldn't you? I mean, you didn't have all those guys starting the 83 season. You had to go get other players to help you win that chip.
Now, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Beric? We were talking about in our prep for this, man, how I'm getting frustrated with the media, man. I'm getting really, really, really aggravated with the media. Because guys act like they never played basketball before. Listen, you go on the courts, you're like, yo, I got next. You pick a team. You trying to pick bums or you trying to pick talent over here, man, to actually give yourself the best chances of actually winning the damn game? What is wrong with you guys, man?
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, the bottom line is you're talking
about to pick the scrubs. I know I'm going to lose.
But here's the thing, though. And that's another concept I want to go on. You see, back in the day, those contracts, a lot of those players stayed with one team. And you know me, when we always had our conversations off behind the set on our personal phone calls, I always loved the fact that the main star player remained in that city and they build around that player. Now we don't have that. You see, this is what they fought in every sport for free agency. They fought for that and they won. They had to go to court to win this. Okay? It now allows them to move on. Not sign major contracts now. I can sign a 2-3 years.
Listen, as an NBA executive, as a general manager, you have a 7-year window to actually put a good team around these guys to compete for a title. That's a long time. Either you get them via free agents and development. It's not just getting free agents there. You got to develop the players that you actually have there. And you got to get some free agents to act, build a culture that makes players attractive. I mean, what I'm hearing is that people want some type of communism here, where these players don't have any type of choices, and general managers don't want to have to work hard because in Beric, listen, if these guys do have freedom, free agency, that brings competition, and then competition actually has to make you work harder. What, you want to get LeBron James and keep him in Cleveland? He's like, all right, he's going to stay with the same team. I ain't got to do anything. I ain't got to work my ass off to try to put
If they build around him in Cleveland very well, he wouldn't have left Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole point, though. Yeah, that's exactly my whole point.
That's what worked for every team. That's why I said they fought for that free agency, man. They fought for it.
Yeah.
If something's not working well, then I'm out of town. I'm leaving.
That's what makes this country so great, is the fact that we actually have competition. And without the competition, we'll be like a lot of other third world countries, second world countries. We will be just like that. It's stunning. I'm sorry.
Let the Nets go and try to get their championship. They haven't had one. You know what I'm saying? Let them go ahead and try to win it. This is the best way
together. And when it comes to making a championship run, you have to address holes in the game. I mean, because when it comes down into the finals, I mean, it's the best team going against the best team. And they got coaching that's actually really good. And they're going to look to actually expose whatever weaknesses that you actually have. So if the Brooklyn Nets and Sean Marks has actually gone out there and actually filled those holes in their gaps, then what's so bad about that? The Lakers don't do that. I think the Lakers didn't do that this year, and it's going to cost them. I mean, as soon as James Harden was like even rumored to actually go to Brooklyn, I would have gotten him. I would stole him. Even if you don't want to come to the Lakers, so what? You give up. I don't even give up damn near Anthony Davis. Because it still gives me a better chance of competing with Kyrie and Kevin Durant versus Kevin Durant, Kyrie, now James Harden now.
Well,
the Lakers right there.
The bottom line is, and it's funny because he went out and compared it to the New York Yankees. And I'm going to tell you something right off the rip. Don't compare anybody to the New York Yankees. They are the creme de la creme of sports teams. Why? They got 27 world championships. Ain't nobody in any sport going to come close to that. As far as I'm living on this earth. All right? And they had basically the same background from the 1970s, the Steinbrenner family. So they went out and brought championships to a degree, but they also had a great farm system. Basketball is now starting to put together a farm system. Okay? Now, you got the D League and other things like that. So you're trying to get these guys matured and develop them and bring them up. So you can't fully say a team is buying a championship, but the bottom line is this is where they decided to come and play. Again, they fought for free agency. Harden no longer wanted to stay in Houston. Durant didn't want to stay in Golden State no more. Kyrie didn't want to stay in Boston anymore. Had they been locked to long mega deals, they would have been stuck in those various cities. Who knows what now? Okay? So now they're in an opportunity now to go out and try to win a championship together. Okay? And so this is how it comes down to. But come on, Dr. J, listen, man, in 83, you know what it came down to. And they paid Moses Malone a lot of money, somewhere between $11 and $15 million. All right? But when Malone got...
It's not the first time that a team has put a big three. Like I said, the Chicago Bulls and their title runs was a super team. They had the best, one of the maybe arguably the second best player in the NBA, Scottie Pippen, the best Euro, the best shooter.
Well, remember, Scottie Pippen was drafted and developed. He wasn't purchased.
Yeah, no. It was still
okay. It turned into a super team.
Yeah.
That's why I got to stop you on that, because the Bulls were not brought up like that. Jordan was drafted. Pippen was drafted. Horace Grant was drafted. All these guys were drafted, and they developed into the team they were. So that's a little different. The Bulls are a little different. I understand where you're going with that. They turned into a super team, but they were built from the ground up, which I don't see most teams doing anymore because free agency has changed. It's changed the whole landscape. So now players don't have to. So they can move on.
What Dr. J is bitching about is that that Brooklyn's actually willing to pay the luxury tax to actually, that's what's giving them the fair advantage, I think, over here.
And the Yankees have done the same thing. They paid a high luxury tax.
Yeah.
All right. The Dodgers are doing it right now. So it is the Dodgers buying a championship because they got Mookie Betts over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So are they buying a championship? They won it last year, by the way, and they still got players coming over there.
Yeah, listen, you got to make it the cities. I mean, listen, Chicago's cold, man. Brooklyn, New York City is cold, but not like Chicago in a sense, though. I mean, we only have one really big snowstorm compared to Chicago in a sense, though, where it could be 25 inches of snow 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times a year in a sense, though. But the culture, and management actually really matters, and these guys actually made a choice to actually come and play together, man. It's no different than going to the park and picking out a good team to help you actually win. You want to wait 7 or 8 nexts? I mean, it could be I went to the park and it's 9 people that I got next. I got to wait for the next person to get to, I got to wait for all these games to go by. And then I got to get a team, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of competition out there, man. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. I'm sorry. Ah, man.
Well, it just, it only comes down to that point because they already know in their heart that the Nets have pretty much the most logical chance at the chip. There's no major challenge to everybody's mind at this point. So you're going to come out and say, yeah, they win. You know what they did? They had to buy a chip. That's how it comes down to. I tell you one thing, though. He's one of the greatest players ever played this game. But he has to keep in mind he had to put a team together, too, for him to win a chip. Let's not forget it.
Yeah, listen, this NBC article is actually saying Yeah, you're right. They signed Moses Malone to a contract worth $11.8 million to
15 million in 1982.
1982. Yeah.
And the 76ers won the next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then in '84, the NBA instituted their first salary cap. You see that? So, what does that say? What does that say in layman's terms? That I could not win the championship with Mo Cheeks, Andrew Toney, Billy Cunningham, and them boys. All right, I need another guy.
Yeah, and I do understand why the Kevin Durant and all these guys really hate the media now. I'm really starting to understand this now. I'm really starting to get it because I'm like, come on, man. Y'all guys are just looking for a story to put out there, man. And I know stories sell. I mean, if stories actually get people to watch Barrick, you understand that, right? And I understand why the media is doing it. But
that's their job. Their job's to keep you tuned in, you know. But sometimes people will buy into what they're reading because they figure they're getting it straight from the hip. And not all the time they're getting it from the hip. That's why I like people on ESPN. They always say, I got it from a source. And they put their name to that source. And they'll report it. You could take that to heart. But when you just come out as an ex-ball player and say, listen, I think they're buying a championship. Well, Dr. J said, okay, that's cool. But
yeah, you're right. People will actually run with that.
Yeah. You know, okay, so that's how. And listen, before we go, man, we got to pay big homage to LaMarcus Aldridge, man. You know.
Yeah, we all talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, he retired, and it's really too bad. Health comes first. And according to different doctors out there, this is something that actually could have killed him. And
he got
missed, man. I was talking to Barrick earlier, just watching him play. If you are big, he's a guy that you should try to emulate with the footwork, passing. You can actually run your offense through him. Really good defender. You know, like some of you analysts actually saying he's a bad defender. No, he's not. Really good defender. A good protector. Excellent footwork. Shoot the mid-range shot. I mean, it's like, damn. And I mean, listen, he had 22 points. It's amazing. I was telling you, Berg, it's amazing that he was actually able to really have that heart condition and still become a 7-time All-Star and 3-time All-NBA, 2 times second team, 1 time third team. I mean, amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, but you know, when you have a record heart,
he had a scare, and he says, "I'm done." And
yeah, that's the thing.
I get what he said. My scare, I hurt my knee, and I was like, couldn't put any weight on it, man. I had to be taken away by the ambulance. I'm like, you know what? Not worth it. Hung up the basketball. That's it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. But you know, you follow those traits, and you realize what happened to Hank Gathers and what you see happen to Reggie Lewis. Those gentlemen, unfortunately, didn't have a choice. It happened instantaneously while they were on the floor, and it ended right there on the floor. There was no second chance. LaMarcus had a second chance. So, like you said, you know, to echo those statements, man, he had to make that decision where life does come first. And he knew he was on the cusp of winning a championship here in Brooklyn. That's not important anymore.
Yeah.
And I want to ask a question. I wanted the Nets win the championship. Does LaMarcus get a ring anyway? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that. They should, but they waived him. They had to waive him to open up a roster spot.
Yeah, they had to, but I'm just wondering if they would just do it just for the heart of hearts.
I think they will. I mean, especially it's really good optics in a sense, though. To actually, yeah.
We'll see what happens. Play it by ear. Yeah. All right, that's a good show.
All right. We'll definitely wrap this up over here. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And Barrick is saying 4 paychecks, man.
Smash button. Hit the smash button. That's what you gotta do. Hit the smash button, man.
Smash that like button, man. Smash that like button.
All right, guys. All right. Peace out.